So I'm going to get started by doing a Symfony new and then contact form. That's the name of my project, which is going to download the latest version of Symfony. And then I'm going to change directory into that directory and just do a composer update to make sure that I've got all the latest dependencies. And then what I'll do is do a php bin console server start. So we can open that up anyway. And before I go too much further, I'm going to go to get Bootstrap and I'm going to make sure that we've got this available inside our project. So getting started and then just copy in this line for your style sheet. And you may have heard that Symfony does have some styling available for Bootstrap sort of out of the box, which it kind of does, but you do have to import Bootstrap, the style sheet to begin with, to actually use it. We'll see this as we go through. So I'm just going to pop this just there and save that off. And then I'm going to go into the views default index and I'm just going to clear all of this off as well. Get rid of all of that. Well, I'll just leave those style tags in there. And then I'll get rid of that. And I don't want a div ID of container, I want a div class of container, which again is a Bootstrap thing. The container styles don't apply to the ID, they apply to the class. So if you want to use Bootstrap, then do make that change. And I'll just put in there hello. We'll give this a refresh and we can see hello. Okay, so why is that working? So if we go into source, @bundle, controller, and then default controller, we can get rid of that bit as well. And pretty much that as well. And that. And so this is the route that Symfony gives you by default, which is why it's the default controller. We're probably going to want to rename this. We'll call ours support form controller or support controller, something like that. We'll accept the defaults there, which has gone ahead and updated the class name and so on. Do need to make sure that I update the views directory as well to support. Of course, you don't need to do any of this. It isn't a default app. We're changing it to be a support app, so why leave it as default? Okay, let's check that our app still works. Cool. And this works because it's going to render the content of the app resources views, and then in our case support/index, which is where we put that hello, which inherits from that base template, and the base template is what contains our Bootstrap style along with the head and the body tags. So I guess the only really confusing part is why we start at support, and that's just due to the way that Symfony's directory structure works and the way that the framework expects you to work. There are variations on this, but from a beginner's point of view and from the Symfony best practices point of view these days, generally you would work out of the views directory under app resources views. Now there is one other change that I'm going to make, and that's just to add some margin at the top there, because otherwise we're sort of right on that top bar. So again, you can see inside our base, we have this block style sheets, which sort of allows us to add any styles in from any sub-templates or child templates, and they will be populated into here for us. So if we look in index, then you can see again that we've got this block style sheets. So whatever goes in here is actually going to end up in here. And so if we add some style in here, you can see that we do need the style tags. We've got this class of container, so if we use the CSS convention of dot for class and container, and then we add in some margin top of say 40 pixels, and give that a refresh, and we can see we've got our margin top. And if we just take a quick look at the source, you can see them style tags have been added in with our additional container style. That's been popped below the Bootstrap style sheet. And again, we can see the Bootstrap style sheet and then the block style sheets. There's a fairly common twig convention, which you get used to seeing as you go through and work with Symfony more. And one of the nice things about Twig is there's quite a few other sort of variations of it as you use other languages, like JavaScript has got Swig, which is very similar, and also Ginger templates in Python, if memory serves, are very similar as well. And I'm sure there's loads more. It's a really common convention.